Hello, everyone. Let me know how the volume is. Last time, nobody told me, and like the game's volume was overpowering, so I lowered it a little bit, and we'll see how it goes this time. Oh, sitting rather uncomfortably, but hopefully the internet connection will be fine. As many of you probably know, it's you know, the weather conditions are not the best. I am thankfully not getting the worst of it. Just a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain, and a little bit of wind. So hopefully it won't affect the stream negatively. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Robert Kaczynski, a tiny bit louder. Tiny bit louder. What's a tiny bit louder? Am I too loud or am I too quiet? Or is the sound output a bit too much? I'm just gonna give it a couple of minutes. You and the volume appear to be equal. That's probably a bad thing, right? Let me see if I can do this. Unfortunately, my microphone is up to the max, so I'll be lowering the volume of the PC. Yeah, this song is also excessively loud, so that's that. More on this. Good old ad-lib tracker. Yeah, I should have said flash and lights warning, right? So thank you all very much for being here. I also have DOS running everywhere, Robert, even though I'm not 52 just yet. I am planning on drinking on this stream. I did. If some of you might remember, I opened a bottle of champagne for the 5th anniversary video, which feels like yesterday. That's the thing. There's the gap between the first year to the 5th year feels a lot longer than 5th year to the 10th year. But oh well, time flies, right? When you're having fun. So yeah, so I'm at the 5-minute mark. I'm gonna be opening the bottle of champagne, a better bottle of champagne, I guess. I know nothing about champagne. My tolerance for alcohol is pretty high, but I don't drink champagne often. Last time I think I had it was like a few years ago for some New Year's event, and that's that. So let's see what happens. Let's make it interesting. I also don't have any particular plans. Thank you for all of your congratulations. How's the weather? Like I said, the weather is bad, but it could be worse. It's really not that bad. It's like a perfect stay-at-home weather, so... crack a bottle of Stoli. I don't have a bottle of Stoli. Also, Stoli is a terrible vodka. Don't drink it. I'm sorry to say. Yeah. I have a bottle of tequila in the fridge somewhere. But yeah. Alright. Still too many flashing lights, right? Alright, let's get this going. Oof. Ice here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania is really bad, right? The state of emergency was declared, I just heard. Alright, well, thank you everyone for stopping by. Let's see how I can manage this. I don't have much room here. Ooh. Here's the bottle of champagne that I bought. And let's see if I can manage opening the bottle without knocking out any of the lights or monitors or covering myself in champagne. Alright. I have no idea why I'm doing this. I just thought it was going to be interesting. And we'll find out soon enough. What else? I also don't have champagne glasses, so oops. So I'm going to be using good old-fashioned wine glasses. Don't judge me harshly. Not a connoisseur. I'm just trash, but it's okay. So tell me something about DOS. Yeah, if anybody wants to make a run for some booze, go for it. Trying to keep this in the frame. Should I keep this in the frame? I guess. I just don't want it too close to my face. And I don't know what I'm so worried about. The bottle's been in the fridge for 2 hours. Alright. Here's to 10 years of DOS nostalgia, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. For all your support, for Patreon support, for watching the videos, for talking to me on Twitter and all that other social media. Leaving wonderful comments on YouTube. I did it for interaction. I did it for you. And, yeah. So, the reason DOS Nostalgia has been around for 10 years is because of all of you, because you keep watching, keep writing. I appreciate it a lot. Alright, let's do this. Oh, wow. Well, that's tougher than I expected. Hell yeah! And then ran out of music. Alright, so I really didn't have that many plans today to stream certain things. I sort of like wanted to demonstrate what my normal workflow is to get things going and what goes into sort of not a creating DOS Nostalgia episode, but how I go about sort of checking out games and everything. But before I do this, and I know this is sort of going to be a repeat. I guess I'm going to have to drink that whole bottle today. Oh well. What am I doing with it? This is like Russian New Year. Alright, so. Cheers, everybody. Oh, gosh. Alright. So, what's going to happen today is, earlier in the day, there was an announcement made that a new reimplementation of Blood just dropped. And I would like to sort of quickly check it out. I can't leave that, you know, unchecked. It's supposedly a very accurate reimplementation on top of D.O.G 32. So I'd say let's quickly take a look at it. It's called Blood. I copied all the files here and everything. Let's see what happens, and then we'll move on to other stuff. Let's see, what's your opinion on the show Halt and Catch Fire? Have you seen it? No, I have not seen it. I don't like television shows. There's a couple of people who advised me not to watch it, and there's a couple of people who told me to absolutely watch it. I still haven't seen it. So one day, maybe. So yeah, let's quickly check out Blood. I'm not playing playing much, but new port, version 1. I think it doesn't play cutscenes, does play CD music. There is work in multiplayer, but the README says that it's not particularly great yet. So on one of my first streams using the new setup, I demonstrated the Blood GDX port, which at that point was new. Now, I guess a couple of years later, let's check out Blood. Let's see here. do you think? 60 FPS, okay, widescreen. This implementation is apparently is accurate enough to play demos, the original demos. I didn't copy any demo files over because I find blood demos fairly annoying. So, well, it's good to know that it's accurate. Whoa. Okay.
I live again.
And I should point out that my stream, I'm streaming off an old, well, not old, but just not a particularly great laptop. So the video that you see, and I'm playing in 60 FPS, what you see in is 30 FPS at 720. So far, everything feels, yeah, everything feels pretty well. So you're getting a bit of a downgrade in quality, but I assure you, everything is fine. Let's see. Okay, so some modifications to the border. Okay, there's a new UI. Let's see how that goes. Hello, Costa Rica.
Nevermore.
Let me know how the volume is, if it's too quiet or too loud, or if I'm too loud. Probably should bring a microphone closer to my face. Let's see if this version of blood is accurate enough to getting crushed by a door. Was the progress bar shown in throwing dynamite in the original? Absolutely.
I need a key.
Are you paying too much attention to the chat? Alright, I should be drinking that champagne. Ah, pretty refreshing.
Open for business.
Well, so far so good. I mean, it plays very much like Blood should be. If you haven't played Blood, you really should. Just be aware it's extremely difficult, especially to start with. But it's like it's a true FPS player's game. And yeah, until you sort of figure out how to use the game's physics and weapons to your advantage, it's brutal. Yeah, it's also very resource extensive, so it doesn't work that well in DOSBox. I mean, it works fine, but should I buy King Dreams on Nintendo Switch? I mean, if you feel like spending $15 on it, King Dreams is not that great, but it's up to you. What license is on Blood? I actually haven't looked, but the source is on GitHub, so it's open source. A re-implementation of Witch Heaven would be interesting too. There is one in the works, Witch Heaven GDX, from the same guy who does the Blood GDX and Redneck GDX and Tech War GDX. Would you say that's specific to DOSBox or any DOS emulator? I'd say it's specific to any emulator because it's a fairly resource-extensive game. Remember, you needed like a good Pentium to run this, so in any decent resolution and quality. So yeah, it's just specific to an emulator. You know, like once everything has to jump through too many hoops to emulate one processor cycle, and everything, things get really complicated. And yes, our machines are very advanced these days, but it's just better to have a native port if you can have one. And in this case, so we now have two re-implementations of Blood. Ah, crap, what a waste. Blood GDX and this, and an official port incoming, so that's all good. So we're gonna have three, where we previously had nothing. Yes, the official port is being worked by Night Dive, courtesy of Kaiser. MIDI tracks? No, this is not MIDI tracks, these are CD tracks. But Blood also has MIDI tracks, which a lot of people prefer to the CD tracks, but I prefer the CD tracks. Remember having tried this when I was 8 or 7. Trust me, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's just a really difficult game. It requires... In the beginning, it's one of those games where like the shareware progression is bad because levels in the beginning they don't give you too many weapons and too much ammo, so they're hard. They're hard until you build up the arsenal, until you figure the game out.
My way.
The guy voicing Caleb is amazing. Oh, let's get rid of all the garbage. I wonder if you have some protos stowed away like 3D and Devolver did for Shadow Warrior. Get the super secret. I don't know where the super secret here is. I always forget. So sorry. Yeah, I'm missing one. It would be nice to have some prototypes. There's the alpha. Oh, there's some graphical glitches I saw that weren't present in the original. But okay. Music is playing, right? Yeah, there is alpha and a shareware beta that's available. It's been available for a while. Oh crap, what am I doing? I do love Blood's bouncy physics. That's another thing you can use to your advantage in this game. Well, so far everything in this implementation does feel very appropriate and very accurate. I'm very pleased. I know I should be using a pitchfork more, but ah, crap. Yeah, and the aiming can be as bad as in the original Blood, so I guess this is accurate as well. Where's the other guy? Come here, come here. Oh yeah, they throw dynamite. Whoop! Yo, higher levels of difficulty. On default levels of difficulty, like the second enemy throws a dynamite. On the higher difficulty, they throw bundles of dynamite. Also, of course, being an old first-person shooter, there is like a ton of hit scanning enemies, something that we finally realized was not a good thing. Ooh. Well, this game is not going too well for me. At least, let's see if I can finish this level. And he didn't drop, the cultist didn't drop the Tommy gun. Oh well. Ah. Also no Tommy gun, okay. Ooh. Okay. Think it's a Simpsons joke. Yeah, this game is getting hectic quick, and you know, I know what I'm doing. Oh, I have 25 health. I'm really taking a beating here.
Leftover.
crap, I'm wasting my power up. Oh! That's why I wanted to keep that power up. Well, thankfully I'm gonna get a life seed here. Let's see the comments. This game made by the same company as Claw. Yep, the Claw poster even parodies the Blood poster. The ad, I mean. By the way, this stream was more intended as a Q&A sort of thing more than anything else. So if you have any Qs, if you have any Qs, I'll have some A's. Whew. Oh, more dynamite. Thanks, buddy.
Looks like my train's coming.
I could finish the level. Crap. Do I even have any ammo? 8 shells. Yeah, let's not mention blood too, thank you. I played around the same time as Ryan. They're a step closer to finding the rights to No One Lives Forever. No, that's not necessarily true, although both are Monolith games, right? So Atari, Atari only had one rights holder. I don't know why I'm doing this. While No One Lives Forever, several entities are tied up in it, so that's the difference. Cool. What retro computers do you own? I don't own that many. I have a Model 30 IBM PS2, and I have a couple of Pentiums. Nothing special about them. But yeah, not that many. What about Dust so captivating to you? Nothing in particular. I just that was my platform of choice back in the day. I played as many games as possible back then, and sort of I never really had owned many consoles and stuff. And as I got older, I was like, oh, I have that unique experience of playing more like computer games than a person in an average developed country would, because in my country we didn't have consoles. So that's yeah, so I decided to talk about it. Captivating to me, I mean, it's one of those things where technology is so limited. So when technology is limited, but that applies to every platform, of course. But when technology is limited to very specific, in very specific ways, game designers and artists and programmers had to overcome those limitations in creative ways, and I like to see it apply to PC as well. So when is it done non-gaming stream? VisiCalc stream? Yeah, I mean, could happen. It could happen. VisiCalc. I actually was thinking of doing a VisiCalc stream, but let's see. Did you imagine this 10 years later? I didn't imagine it 10 years later, but I never not imagined it either. So I don't know. Ever played Gorillas and Nibbles QBasic back in DOS days? Yes, of course, loved Gorillas. Have you gamed on Spectrum Clones? Pentagon was big. Yes, I have played on Spectrum Clones. I had a Delta and clone, and also a no-name brand clone that my mom's boyfriend made, and he worked at the Science Research University in the 80s. And in fact, I have a Spectrum on my way. I just recently ordered a refurbished Spectrum Plus 2A, and it's been stuck at customs in Greece for like a week, so we'll see. Have you made any mods for DOS games or been part of modding teams or for all the titles? I have made like a couple of levels for Duke 3D for my school, because the editor was easy. Like, it was a level creating my school, so it was very boring and terrible. I could never master the Doom level editors because they were, the old Doom editors were non-visual. You couldn't see representation of your level in 3D, so you sort of had to figure out from the overhead view, and you have to keep all the details. You had to keep all the details in mind, and it was very counterintuitive. And I was never that determined. So no, I did not. Versus Northern Commander versus DOS Navigator. I mean, DOS Navigator, I guess, is technically superior. I really don't care. I use Northern Commander for everything in DOSBox, as you will see in a second. But I use Volkov Commander on actual DOS machines just because it's smaller and faster. So this was Endblood. I'd say it's pretty good, pretty accurate. I would love to see how it gets developed further. Same person made the Redneck Rampage port that I don't remember the name of, and I would also like to see how it would be developed further. But sadly, with the Redneck Rampage port, it doesn't seem to be to have been updated even once since the release. Although it hasn't been that long, but still. Alright, so that's that. That's it for Endblood. Since it's not, it's a port of a DOS game, not exactly a DOS game. Let's move into more interesting DOS titles. And I just decided the other day, I remembered about the existence of the game called D.O.G. I don't know if any of you know this game. It's called D.O.G. Fight for Your Life. Later re-released as Dune Raiders, which is the version that I have. Yeah, so I've decided to check it out. It's like a third-person DOS voxel game, and I love voxel games, especially like late 90s voxel games. So in the late 90s, voxel games were the best before voxel technology got killed by 3D accelerated polygons. So there's a lot of really, really cool stuff. Let me switch to 4x3 here. And yeah, and we're gonna go the entire way with the install and everything. Oops, I actually forgot to do something. Whoopsie. I had to record something. I had to set my Sound Blaster RQ to 7 before, where I preferred it 5 for all my other games. Came here roll a Jazz Jackrabbit. That's funny, but you won't see any Jazz Jackrabbit from me because I don't like it. Alley Cat. Yes, my first PC game. Wonderful to see it somewhere. That was my first ever review that I've uploaded. Right now it's after I uploaded about 4 p.m. On February 12th of 2009, and yeah, 10 years ago. Greetings from France. Hello, France. So let's install D.O.G, or Dune Runner, as this version calls it. A lot of those sort of graphical installers, they can be annoying. I'm not going to install to see Dune because that's where Dune is. Duh. while we're installing. Greetings from my friend Jimmy, the Pain Elemental. Ooh, arms. Tiny arms. Abuse was good. Abuse is an interesting game. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I'm not the biggest fan about it, but... Do you find it surprising that DOS has maintained a presence and following this far? In the early 2000s, I would have said yes, but now I will say no, because everything has a presence these days. You can buy a miniaturized Nintendo, which is an official Nintendo product, and all that stuff. So, yeah. I'd say 15 years ago, I would have absolutely said, yeah, I don't see DOS surviving, especially as DOS was essentially even like the homebrew, just generally like DOS, just the abandonware scene. People were interested in DOS, but not much other activity was going on. The freeware from DOS just sort of disappeared also in the early 2000s, and it was at that point obsolete and gone. But as always happens, nostalgia is a serious drug, right? And generally, things things change, and but people kind of stay the same, right? So I like that DOS is around. Hello from Moscow. Hello, Moscow. I miss Moscow. DOSBox helped a lot to revive the popularity of DOS. Yeah. I remember playing like one of the first releases of DOSBox in the early 2000s, and like being able to like run Maniac Mansion on it or something. That was and Alley Cat. That was like the extent that you could do. And now you can run games that would run on a Pentium with hardware acceleration on it. It's pretty cool. All right, so I didn't see a sound setup here for some reason. So let's see what happens when I... Oh yeah, Dune DOS. Okay. So there is sound. That doesn't feel right to me. README sound. See, that's how we used to do things back in the day. There, sound cards might be automatically set. Please select the sound card manually. Well, how? Where? List of available options. Oh gosh darn it. Let's see. Wow. Well, Tuber C is still a good coding language. C++, I guess. If you say so. I love shareware. Yeah, like shareware is one thing I do miss. Like, and I still think it's crazy that you could get like a third of a finished game for no money that you were legally allowed to distribute. Granted, usually was the best part of the game too, but you know, still pretty crazy. I grew up playing a lot of DOS shareware games in TVDM. In TVDM was a cool thing in a post to Win32 thing. Doesn't DOSBox make the Sound Blaster settings foolproof? I mean, you still have to set them and you still have to match them. So, I mean, it's easier just because it's not real hardware, but foolproof? Are you playing the MIDI through shuttle thingy? No, I'm playing the MIDI with the software synthesizer. Did you play Seek and Destroy? Yes. Stunts? Yes. Street Rod? Yes. Played all of those. Have you seen Vine VDM, which is emulating 16-bit Windows and bringing it back to... No, I did not see that. I should check it out. I am always on the lookout for Windows, for Win16 emulation. So far, I really haven't seen anything good, but I haven't really dug that deep. All right, let's see. Let's see, what did it say here? Okay, soundboard IDs, so I can do. All right. So the board. So we got a Sound Blaster 5, bass 220, RQ 5, DMA 1. Should have made a batch. Hey, is this ringing the bell for anybody? Nope, still nothing. Let's see what's in the options. See, this how DOS nostalgia happens. You can just run DOS Windows 3.1 on DOSBox, right? Yes, and I do, but I don't know. Okay, what did I do wrong? First of all, what does it detect? Sound Blaster 16, 220, DMI 5. So it detects everything right. So it detects everything right. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so you know what? Let's just, out of curiosity, let's actually leave it with the RQ7 and see what happens. Oh gosh, my leg is falling asleep. Sorry, I'm like sitting in a very awkward position. I should probably just do this. Also, periodically somebody remind me to drink my champagne. I get distracted and I have a whole bottle to finish. But yeah, messing around with DOS games, for anybody who is actually interested, is like this. It's this. Let's try it again. Okay. SMD board. I like how the example that it gives me is exactly what I want. 5, 220, 5, 1. Let's see here. Okay, so at least I know everything is set on the thing. Music on, off. Like, it doesn't even play the CD tracks, which it should be. That should be independent of the sound card. Oh well. Actually, let's see here. Oops. Doomed. No. Does it have a Gravis ultrasound support? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do a Gus. And let's see what happens. Oops. Let's see if it auto IDs it. Of course it just doesn't. Now it just forgets to do everything. Okay. So just one. Do I even need to? I don't even know what the Gus settings are, to be honest with you. Now this is feel like it wasn't in DOS days. Hey, what are you playing? I'm playing a voxel shooter D.O.G or Dune Riders, Dune Rollers, Dune Runner. If I can get it running. I actually don't know what Gus's illegal RQ0. Crap. It's alright with RQ DOSBox and an in-game setup. That's what it is now. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. However, what I'm going to do here, just not to confuse it, is just pretend that my Sound Blaster does not exist. I actually have a feeling it might have something to do with the processor speed. Something is not right here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I wish to enter 5, that's why it didn't work. However, you've also seen the first time I did it with 7. Here's what we're gonna try. Dogs, not dogs. Maybe not the best decision, but let's see if it'll affect it. Google it. It's not much to Google. Gas RQ5, gas DMFA, but obviously it's not working because of this. We're not going to give up. Meanwhile, don't forget to ask questions. I'm going to be answering them. I did want it to be a fairly authentic experience of what it's like to be the DOS guy, and this is a fairly good representation. Board 5 to 20. Do 5 or 7? 5, 1, right? With 5 1 or 7 1? Either way. I just want to hear any sound. There was at one time where the sound was looping. And could have sworn this worked before. Seven. I did set it to 7. Okay. Can I get any game to make a sound on DOSBox right now? I'm betting yes. Although that now that I switched RQ for my that was a thing, right? Are you using the mounted CD image? Yes, I am. And this we can easily check. Well, I mean, we know it's... There we go. This is your music. Everything is fine. Don't worry, I'm a professional. I didn't just do 5 again. It's you've seen me do it. The game is spelled dog like a dog. Woof woof. Let's see here. Well, again, I haven't touched this game. Last time I touched this game was like 5 years ago, and the time I touched it before was like 8 years prior to that, so blah 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 blah. Well, there's always this thing where things, DOSBox doesn't particularly want to play well. So let's see if we can do core on normal instead of auto, and see what this gives us. Oops. Does require Sound Blaster driver to be loaded. This is DOSBox. DOSBox. And detects everything right. Something's not right with the game, I figure. Which is pretty weird. Well, we can always first of all, I would like to set it to 5, just because that's what all my games are. So it didn't work with Gus, it didn't work with Sound Blaster, so I assume it just doesn't want to work with DOSBox. However, I don't remember which is the latest version of DOSBox I have, to be honest with you. I mostly use Korean DOSBox build for everything. Some games need the CD to be in a specific drive. This isn't a drive D. Obviously it works. The game obviously works. As you can see, the game loads, the game plays the videos, it's fine. Use real MS-DOS. I could do that, but I'm not going to. Don't you need Gus drivers still with DOSBox? Just for the MIDI. That's another thing, like CD audio, like the game doesn't even play CD audio. CD audio should be, as you can tell, it should be playing just fine. Does DOSBox come in with the blaster driver interface as well? Yes. Ask me questions about something else, not about the game. We're gonna get there. I guess maybe this. That's a Chardonnay. No, that's champagne. Oops. What am I doing wrong here? Haven't done a DOSBox config manually in forever. Shouldn't have done that. Come on, man. So these two adlib often work for me too. What adlib? This is a game from 1997. Don't forget to drink champagne. Thank you. That's what I want to see. Hey, if it doesn't work, we can always play something else. It was a good attempt. It doesn't want to cooperate. I have posted a screenshot of this game from 5 years ago, so 5 years ago, so it means 5 years ago I got it running. It's either this specific build of DOSBox or just something in the game doesn't work, or I've used a different version of the game, because this one is called Dune Runner, so who knows what was changed. So that's that. But I'm glad I streamed it, because now you know what happens when you try to you know, mess around with that stuff. Sometimes it just doesn't work in emulation. Sometimes it doesn't work on a real machine either. Yeah. Now I'm kind of taking requests, I guess, at this point. Unless unless you want to play me to play something crazy, like Commander Blood or something. That's a pretty crazy game. What is your favorite book? Oh, that's a good one. I actually have a bunch. Every time somebody asks me what's the favorite something, it's really hard for me to pick one thing out. I usually don't. My favorite book, I'd say one of my favorite books is actually, I recently dug it up and I still have it. This is a Soviet children's book that I have called A House in Snow. It's a bit beat up, but I literally dug up from my archives, and it's a wonderful children's book with really surreal illustrations done in pencil. If anybody catches it, let me. It's very personal, really cool, not condescending to children, and the illustrations by this artist, I think named Yuri Skovorodnikov, are absolutely insane, but also great. And it's definitely one of my favorite books. And the reason I picked it out right now is because it was right next to me, and I'm thinking about it. So yeah, puts a set blaster command in auto exit bat. It's already there. Descent would be great. Not gonna play Descent, makes me queasy. I do recommend Overload though. Play Flashback or Blackthorn. Maybe. Let's see. In fact, is Tempest 2000 soundtrack copyrighted? Will I get a YouTube copyright strike on this? And I will mute my freaking stream. Really don't want that. But I'm a really big fan of a DOS version of Tempest 2000. I could, of course, set it to Adlib Sound Blaster music and just Marathon. Marathon is not a DOS game. Think of a DOS game you think is underrated and shared. There's so many underrated DOS games. So many. Play some vinyl. I was actually considering buying a vinyl player and started collecting vinyl again. I used to have a bunch of vinyl when I lived in the good old USSR, but I already collected enough things. I have like, I don't know, 3,000 movies, a whole bunch of games and stuff, and I don't think I need one more thing to collect. Sadly. So let me do a round in Tempest 2000. Hopefully my stream won't get muted. Oh yeah. The music is there. I was afraid that my DOSBox broke, and that was the reason why I messed around. And for one thing about Tempest 2000 is, for some reason, the Sound Blaster driver for it is very scratchy, but that's just the way it is. It's the same on a real machine. Who cares? I could have picked Gus, which is better. It's not scratchy, but for some reason it pitches all the sounds down. Don't know why. Oh well. If you've never played Tempest or Tempest 2000, I recommend it highly. It's insane. It's really fun. It's also very easy. I actually want to do a review of this game on the Dust Nostalgia channel, because it's also a very good port of originally a Jaguar game. And I think it deserves a bit more recognition than it got at the time it was released. How's the volume? The music in this game is great. Generally, if you know anything about me, you know that I love 90s things, and this game is very, very 90s. You could play Retro City Rampage. I could. I own it. Not a surprise to anyone, I don't think. I'm really don't feel like explaining the rules to don't feel like explaining how to play Tempest. I hope everybody knows, but a funny thing, growing up in the USSR, you know, not American arcades weren't available, so I didn't really know what it was like to play Tempest until literally last year. I finally got to play Tempest with an actual, you know, the tumbler, and wow. Like, it felt like a revelation to play Tempest with an actual, like, spindle. What a completely different experience, which is, of course, cannot be recreated with a, you know, with a controller, sadly. But it was really satisfying to just spin the spindle. It felt incredible. Play some Planet X3. I haven't played much of it yet, so I'm not really in the mood of looking like an asshole. Although I probably did look like it after like trying to get the sound or something for like half hour. But I feel like that's okay because that's what we all had to put up with back in the day. Well, also Tempest 2000 is really intense, in case you don't know. Planet X3 isn't on DOS yet, is it? Yes, of course it is. It is on DOS. That's the only thing it's on for. Where's the Tempest spikes? It's there. I'm so far. You've seen some on level 2. I have avoided them. There's one right there in the bottom right now. Woo. I think I'm doing fairly well so far. Famous last words, right? You could use a trackball mouse. Not the same. It's not the same as a spindle. It's trackball is, you know, I can see playing, you know, Marble Madness with a trackball crap, but not. But not so much. Yeah, there's your spike right there on the right. Woo. Yeah, I should definitely review this game. I'm really enjoying this. Jill of the Jungle. It's not a alright game. Oh, this is a relaxing level. Talk to me while I'm playing this. And I'm probably gonna lose it anyway, so. Can't believe I'm still in my first glass. Talk to me, talk to me. This is time to talk, to talk about that stuff. How's everybody doing, by the way? Anybody else getting bombarded with snow? Except for Robert? Because I know, I guess Robert is bombarded. Not that I don't like Robert, I'm just saying Robert is being bombarded with snow. He told me where he is, and I know they are. This is almost entirely like a very good port of Tempest 2000, with the exception it flips the reggae level. It changes it to like a tunnel of colors that you have to follow, and also that part is not emulated well in DOSBox. It starts really crapping out. So maybe if I'll get that bonus, you'll see it. Oh, whoa. Wow, I missed it. I was trying to find what's the button for pause. One great thing about the adjustment of Tempest 2000 is like forgiving you that there is no spindle and letting you not be that precise. You can just do this, like where if you see me, I'm 65 degrees here, you motherfucker. 6 is where I'm not sure what's in Celsius. I don't need Celsius. I'm in. You guys don't know. I live in the United States. Because I have been for quite a while, so I forgot what Celsius was at this point. Although I do feel that I felt with 40 below Celsius was pretty bad. Experienced that once. But I think 40 below in Celsius is about the same as 40 below in Fahrenheit, so it's all good. Or should I say it's all really bad. I wanted to buy Tempest of 4000, but the reviews are quite bad. People saying the port is no bueno, so but I really would like a new version of this. Oh, crap. Oh boy. I hope this translates way to stream, but this is Tempest 2000 is a very intense game, and that can be pretty hard. What button is pause? I wish I had more time to drink my celebratory champagne, but here we are. So yeah, like I was saying, this is a good port from the Jag. There's just some screen melting more sort of. There's just a couple effects that are sort of missing. Oh no, I dropped my Monkey Island coaster. Sound effects are great. This game is great. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I actually put up a... Oh, no! I put up a download of the Windows game on... what about the Samba 69 MT32 mode of this game? So this game has the music for... Adlib, not Samba 16. The OPL2 renditions and the MT32 versions of the music. Exclusive just to this version, obviously. They're really cool, very dated for the time that it came out. Crap! Woo! That's better. Pardon if I stopped halfway through the story, but... Whew, I still don't remember which button is the pause. So yeah, they're cool soundtracks. They're unique, especially for the time when the game came out. Nobody was cared about OPL2 or MT32, which I found in a way even more surprising. But they added the support. Also, like I was saying, I put up downloaded the Windows version on the Internet Archive. I bought it and archived it. Oops. And but it's really hard to run. It's like a DirectX 2 game, I think. Oh, thank God. Is there pause? P is not pause. Jeez. Does this game has higher resolution than the Jaguar version? No, I think it's the same resolution. However, Windows version, that's the reason I brought this whole thing up. Windows version can run at a desktop resolution that you have. So if you have like 800 by 600, it will run on this resolution optionally. The problem is Windows version, even now I've tried emulator as well as on several real machines, it just doesn't, it refuses to start up. Oh man, I'm really trying to pour myself another glass, but... See, the thing is, if you finish the bonus, you skip a whole bunch of levels. I'm not even to a second part of the game. Whoa, whoa! Ah, okay. See? Wow, this is not too bad. And it gives me a little bit of a break. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oops. Well. You can guess what happened. But I'm going to use this opportunity to look at the chat. So how's everybody doing? This is a better game of Tempest 2000 than I normally have. Play Psycho Pinball. It is a fun game. I remember playing it back in the day. Cheers, by the way. No? Nobody has anything to say about DOS gaming? Come on, people. I know you have the experience. Where's my coaster? Oh, there it is. It's the Grog. That's the one that came with that limited edition of the book. The adventure gaming graphics book. Crap, I forgot what it's called. It's a great book. I'm gonna do a review of it. I'm gonna do book reviews on this channel just to watch very soon. I'm right now finishing up like 4 different videos. They're gonna come up like one after another after I'm satisfied with the state of them. But yeah. Well, Armageddon, we already figured that one out, but speed is not that much of an issue, as much as it's not ID in the sound card. Either way, I guess I'm up to a second part of the game now. Did I get the key? Which means it saved it, or maybe it didn't save it. Let's do this. Whoa, I'm still on the blue levels? That sort of sucks. At least I got plenty of lives. I thought this would surely propel me to the next... Ah, missed the bonus. Missed another bonus. See, the bonuses in Tempest 2000, they're not random or anything. They're... So is this a Soviet champagne? It's not a Soviet champagne, sadly. This is the actual champagne, the not sparkling wine. It's French champagne. Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. Come on, I want to get... Oh, there we go. Now I'm finally on red levels. I'm glad this is on record, because people say this is a very hard game. I mean, it can be annoying, but it's also... it's also pretty generous. Chat has a 30-second delay. I don't care. I look at the chat when I can. Crap. This is when things get really hard. Do love that soundtrack. Very 90s. How's the volume of the 90s soundtrack? I feel like, at least looking at the waveform, like it feels like it's really low. Can't get any more 90s with it, which is funny because like this is a CD version soundtrack. So the original Tempest 2000 on Jaguar actually has a tracker soundtrack, which are like in sort of a mod-like format. No, I mean you ask a question, get 30 seconds to get it. What is 30 seconds? So every subsequent release, like the PlayStation version and the DOS version and everything, use the music from the Tempest 2000 soundtrack, which is a re-recorded non-tracker versions of the Tempest 2000 soundtrack. And it's funny, the Jaguar in a tracker format inside the game's files actually had some... Crap. How did this... Ah! Come on now. I was gonna jump. I might die here, so we might move on to the next game soon. But I'm glad I'm actually, for a Tempest 2000 game, I think I'm doing pretty well. Wow. Just as I said it. 4 lives, people. 4 lives. I know, I feel like I'm doing better on streams when I'm playing an action-y kind of game. Like, I love adventure games, but I can't play them on streams because I get too distracted. But I also feel like I should play like a relaxing game so I can look at the chat more. This is all about chatting with people. Why did I do that? Starting to screw up. Sadly. But at least I didn't even get to the $250,000 points. Crap. I really want to do that. Okay. Crap. But if you're a fan of like arcadey action games, I do encourage everyone to play Tempest 2000. It's a lot of fun. If you have an old like Windows 95, 98 machine at home, I would also encourage you to go on the Internet Archive and download the Windows 95 version of Tempest 2000 and see if you can run it, because if you can run it, it's probably the best looking version. You'll be able to find out. Let's see if I can do this. What hit me? Alright, last life. I guess we're gonna lose, but oh well. I feel like I'm telling like stories about Tempest 2000 and everything, but I'm like, ah! Oh no. Oh no, I'm so dead. Okay. Oh well. That was a good run. Panzer General is relaxing. I guess. Nothing like being nothing like a playing a Nazi. Yeah, I used to play a lot of Panzer General around the year... Can't even tell you. So, a friend of mine was a fan of strategy games and turn-based games and World War II games. So at I used to come over to his house from school, and we used to play a lot of sort of World War II games, and Panzer General was really cool. But I don't think I have patience for it now. Let's do this. People told me like this reminds me of like the demo scene, but while yeah, it's very demo scene reminiscent, I think it's just like a really 90s Jeff Minter, which is why I would like to buy a new version. I think I'm gonna spend money on Tempest 2000. I know it got a lot of bad reviews, but I don't care. I just want Tempest 4000. Okay, so I'm getting up there. I got pretty close to 300,000 points. As you can tell, I'm getting progressively better. Oh, the soundtrack doesn't switch to the quiet menu song. So how is everybody doing? This is gonna be like a breather for me. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take 30 seconds to read chat. I think the booze is actually working. What's like? I know champagne is light on liquor, but let me see what. How much liquor is in this? Okay, 20% by volume. Oh, 20. What am I saying? 12%. 20% would be good. Have you played Polybius? No. Well, Polybius is another Jeff Minter game, but after that, what happened is, I believe he had Jeff Minter also had that sort of his own offshoot of Tempest that he was making for PS4 as well as PS4 VR, and Atari. Oh, I don't like the sound effects. Atari sent him a cease and desist letter, but then they eventually, like a year and a half later, ended up hiring him to develop an official product, and they released it as Tempest 4000. Which I think is just an enhanced, which is like a sort of an extension of this game and Tempest 3000 and Polybius, and it has all of the version of the soundtrack. And yeah, Jaguar version by Yak. And yeah, so while people say it's a good game, they say the port is lacking in features and it's just hard to play, hard to run, doesn't have a lot of adjustments. Those are the main complaints. Normally I wouldn't care about it, but like I already have Tempest 2000, I play Tempest 3000. But I feel like maybe also that money doesn't go directly to Jeff Minter, right? This time it goes to Atari. So, but maybe I'll buy it. Oof. Alright. So that was Tempest 2000. We should run the government. Us and Russia should be best friends. We're so the same. Somebody who spent a lot of their life in Russia and America, I will also say we could not be more different as any cultures are, but I do believe in unity of cultures, and I hope one day we will achieve it, although it's unlikely to happen the way things are. I think we should embrace each other's differences, but let's not get too lyrical here. Oof, another drink. All right, I had something else planned. I wanted to play something else. Those were definitely the things. I wish I could play D.O.G, but obviously not going to happen the way it is. I'm sure it's something really, really stupid. So I played a British game. I should probably attempt to play a French game. Just regular citizens, I meant. Yeah, I know what you mean. Not really gonna elaborate on that. Just do you have that elf bowling? That's not a. I don't think that's a DOS game. I think that's more of the Windows thing from, especially a Flash thing. I think even. I do have Windows 3.1 though, but oh, Shatter's Tech War, that's a classic. Yeah, not playing that one, but a port from the guy who did the Blodgy DX is available. Do we have Gremlins' Barbarian? I don't think I have it installed, but I think I maybe have Barbarian too. Barbarian, the original DOS one is CGA only, and I think I wanted to take a screenshot of that, but I forgot. So I don't think I have that. No, I don't. I have Barbie though. Alf. No. This is not to make requests. Just let's just talk a bit. Wow, this booze I think is really working. Maybe I'm just hungry. Actually, let me ask the chat. This is all about interaction. Who have played Commander Blood? I almost feel like I should just play it just for the sakes of. That's a game that that doesn't require too much interaction, but also is a game that's very visual. So I think that may be good for a chat. It's also I've been working like a review of that for like a year, so I'm still not quite sure how to present it. Is it a good game? I like it, but is it a good game? All those years later, I really don't know what to tell you. But I don't know how I feel about it. Is it entertaining? For sure. Is it good? I don't really know. And it's certainly very, very French. Now that I talk about it, I'm more excited to sort of present it. What is the game in 009 Princess? That's let's see here. Is it that's not the Russian one. Yeah, that's Nine Princes in Amber, the Robert Zelazny adaptation. This is the text adventure. Who does this but chat now? Mic check. I'm here. Alf liked the show. Yes, Alf liked the show, sadly. Let's talk about System Shock. I mean, let's not. People talk about System Shock all the time. So, speaking of which, wow, maybe I was hungry. The booze is hitting me, which is funny. But I just realized I've never showed off my shirt, so I'm going to move my microphone out of the way. And that's kind of cool, I think. A friend of mine gave it to me for Christmas. Do you think simplicity of older games makes for better experience compared to the time sinks of the newer titles and complete with the formidable industries of books and film? No, I don't share this. First of all, I don't think all games are simple. In fact, we have. In fact, I think a lot of old games, especially non-console games, but computer games, are a lot more complicated. In fact, a lot of them, that's the thing I always bring up to the people who are always like nostalgic about old games. Like a lot of those games are unnecessarily complicated because we haven't figured out certain things with controls and stuff. Like those things haven't been unified. A lot of old DOS games, especially ones that are not like platformers or action games, a lot of those games are hard to approach. They're well-designed games. Even the well-designed games sometimes are hard to approach just because they're like remember the original XCOM. I love the original XCOM, but the remember, if you didn't know which each of the icons was in the interface, there really wasn't a way for you to know what it was until you tried it. So that's that. That's just a small example, but that's the kind of stuff that I mean. Like a lot of those games, some more, some less. XCOM is just a famous example to me that it's a game that's also really hard, just generally, very unfair, but that also plays to its advantage once you get to the point where you get your ass kicked like 10 times and then you win once and twice and then you start rolling, the ball starts rolling, you feel really powerful just because you lost so many times because you started at this disadvantage. That's, I feel, is a very cool design game, but also it's hard. It's just it's those little things that get in the way. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, boy, how's that /Safari Gold, I guess. Is there a DOS navigator with long file name support? You can install a DOS long file name support in a real machine in chat. Awesome short, thank you. Do you have the game Dave? I guess Dangerous Dave is in question, and yes, I have 4 Dangerous Dave games with farmers. Bum bum bum. Don't get it. CRPG is really wild. Are you using a virtual machine? I'm using the DOSBox emulator. Populous was battling for 8-year-old me. Same problem. The UI is not very apparent. Vincent Rodriguez, hey bud. Vinny, is that you? What's up? Jagged Alliance. Oh my god, it's so complex. Okay, Jagged Alliance, that's the thing. First Jagged Alliance, the DOS Jagged Alliance, is actually fairly approachable. Second Jagged Alliance is one of the best games, but wow, does it have a hard entrance expectation. Like, you need to know what all of those things are exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, I would recommend Jagged Alliance 2, which is, I feel, is one of the best designed games ever, one of the most enjoyable games ever to everyone, but it's so hard to get into if you are not used to that sorts of gaming. That's what takes away from its greatness to me. Like, Jagged Alliance 2 is amazing, but I'm just trying it's hard. It's hard to get into. What can I say? And it's a shame. It's a shame because that game deserves more recognition. It always did. Do you have Comanche 1? Comanche 1. Yeah, I do. Do you see the Blade Runner making off? The game, is it new or like is it something? I've seen a lot of stuff about I've seen a lot of Blade Runner and I read a lot of Blade Runner making off. There's still very soon we're going to get to the point where Blade Runner is playable in Scum VM. That's going to open up that game to a lot more people. It's a good game. It's interesting. Not perfect. I don't know, a lot of people say it's a great adventure game. I don't think it's that great, but it certainly tries, and certainly very expensive, so it's worth playing. Soon it will be accessible to a whole bunch of more people. For what games did you download DOSBox? Jamie White asks. I've just been using DOSBox for what feels like, 15, 16, 17 years now? I don't know. No, not any particular game. I'm just always interested in sort of old emulation. Mr. 2, Vincent Rodriguez. Do you have Power Slave? I have the DOS Power Slave, but I do need to install the patch that allows you, because originally, that's the thing, that game didn't allow you to turn and strafe at the same time originally. I know there's a fan patch to fix that now, but I don't have it installed. I need to get it installed and maybe play for that game for the second time. Anton Shumilkin asks, are you partly Russian? I am Russian. I spent most of my life in Russia. Was Syndicate DOS? Yes. Both Syndicate and Syndicate Wars were DOS games. DevJack, goodbye. Cheers. You know, I said simplicity in that question, and then I remember, yeah, that wasn't a thing. I remember Sid Huv, which was a Seer VGA thing, a nostalgic myth. Not quite sure. I'm not following, but I do remember Sid Huv. The Blade Runner DOS game. It's not a DOS game. It's a Windows game. Please discuss your view on gamer repression. Vincent Rodriguez, I'm sad that you made me say this out loud. Please fuck off. Love you. In honor of 10th anniversary stream, what is your favorite DOS game you go into after starting DOS Nostalgia? That hasn't been asked. I mean, my favorite DOS game, if I had to single one out, is Doom. It always has been Doom. That really hasn't changed. But I think since starting DOS Nostalgia, it's not since starting DOS Nostalgia, since becoming older, I think I sort of appreciate certain games more, and I sort of appreciate certain games more from the design point of view. That was certainly interesting. I get to appreciate certain design decisions that were made. Certainly different. I didn't care about those things when I was a kid, but now, as somebody who is interested in design, I think it's cool to sort of recognize those things, even the games that are maybe not great. I don't have any particular one that I can single out, but I think I'm just more aware of design philosophies in general, and that's a cool thing that came out of DOS Nostalgia, in a sense, because it's been 10 years, so I like the whole just getting older. It gave me a better perspective, I guess. Давай поле чудес. I have Polly Chudess. I don't think I'm gonna. The old Seer titles were far beyond complicated. Yeah, I was a huge Seer person when I was a kid, and as I grew older, I guess for the same reasons I've just listed, I've sort of, it's not that I became disappointed with Sierra games, but I've sort of was just like, I didn't see them developing as much beyond the technical aspects. I didn't see them develop their design philosophies, while I saw others try to further the design philosophies first. So I became a bit not disappointed with Sierra, but just like, they're there. They're a big company. They were the biggest home computer software publisher for a longer time than anybody else. So yeah. Have you played DOS version of Turrican 2? I have. It's not particularly good. Have you played the DOS version of Mega Man? I also have, and it's bad. I don't think that's a surprise for anyone. Can you name a few hidden gems for DOS? Oof. Let's see. I don't know. Marshmallow Duel, Commander Blood. Somebody asked me that question on Twitter recently. I did bring up like 5 different titles. Honestly, there's so many games for DOS. There's so many hidden gems. I just don't see the thing. If you follow me on Twitter, hit me up there. I'll send you a list. I actually recently wanted to do with a list of 50 hidden gems for DOS with Jim Leonard, but he left the internet for personal reasons. Good for him, actually. I think those reasons that he left him, the reasons that he left internet and social media for, were very valid. I feel like he could have contributed, but it's like, and he was ready to contribute. It was all my fault for stalling. But there's so many DOS games that I guess are hidden gems. Like, literally, there are thousands of DOS games. Most people have not even played that many. Like, literally, the majority of DOS catalog is sort of could fall under hidden gems. So that's what, there's a lot. I see the 11th hour, but no 7th guest. I think it may be under the 7th. No, I don't have that here. Too bad. Well, 7th guest sucks. What can I tell you? Great technical achievement. I don't like it, but I had it installed. I posted a screenshot, so I must have had it installed. I don't know where it is. Have you ever heard of Abandonia? I have. I have heard and have used Abandonia. That's good. Do you remember first game you ever played? Like a first DOS game or first game you ever played? I can barely remember the first DOS game I ever played. I don't know if I can remember the first game I ever played. I remember I was very, very little. Loom. Loom is good. Do you still look for physical DOS games to pick up? Occasionally. I just picked up a physical DOS game last week. However, I feel that the PC collector market has been inflated a lot, and I, not being a person with a lot of money, basically, I'm fine. I'm a collector. I collect a lot of things, but in the sense that where things get too ridiculous, I'm fine with just not spending that amount of money for anything, and so my collection stays the size that it is. I buy stuff to maybe just sometimes I buy stuff that's under the radar to archive and put out on the Internet Archive and stuff like that. Stuff that could potentially be lost. And that's about it. I don't really look for stuff or deals. I don't have time, nor do I have any interest. I picked up a bunch of stuff. I'm happy with where I'm at. And I also have a few fans. Sometimes people say, oh, I'm about to toss like 30 DOS games because I'm moving or something like this. Would you like them? I will always say, yeah. I mean, if you would rather not send them on eBay, yeah, send them to me. And that sometimes happens. So that's that. I don't plan on selling them or anything. I just put them on the shelf and I look at them. And that's that. But I don't really spend a lot of my time collecting. Have you played Capture the Flag by Car Software? I was also only recently made aware of this game, and it's funny because my whole life after I've been to the Young Pioneers summer camp in the good old USSR, I also kind of wanted to make a game like that, and I didn't know that game existed since the early 90s, and only recently somebody, a couple of years ago, somebody mentioned it, and somebody posted a screenshot, and I looked into it, and yeah, that game is essentially what I wanted to make. So it's cool that it exists. Yeah, play custom make and Duke 3D and die a lot. Actually, it's since we're having I am on my vacation. I'm on my vacation. Let's and it's snowing outside. Why not play some Duke 3D Caribbean, right? It's a vacation thing. It's a vacation filled game. So yeah. Dry Drachen. The Drachen, yeah, the Gabriel Knight poem. Get it. The tricks of games, so you download them all set aside the list created by yourself. This is all mine over the course of 15 years. What is your favorite type of game? I like first-person shooters and I like adventure games. Those are my two foremost genres, but of course there's more. Happy anniversary, thank you. What do you think of the Gabriel Knight remake? I backed it. I've seen it. I've met Jane Jensen at GDC when they were presenting that remake. I have installed it, and I have not played it. So I have no objective opinion of it. But because somebody told me I should play Duke Nukem 3D something, let's see. Let me switch it to Visa, no LFB. Let me keep going. Let me know about the volume of the sound, as always. Whoa.
It's time to limbo.
I like this add-on.
Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. It's time to limbo.
Do you know Alien Incident, the finished adventure game? Yes, I do. Really cool animation. I need to finish it someday. I actually have never finished that game, but the yeah, that's the thing about duplication. It's those enemies.
Watch where you point that thing. You'll ruin my vacation.
This is, I guess, this is a good game to play on a snowed-in day.
You have such. Hey, watch where you point that thing.
I'm gonna kill the lady because
Watch where you point that thing.
they're annoying and their sounds spread
Watch
throughout
where
the
you
level.
point that thing.
Do you know the 8-bit guy? Have you played the Planet X games? I have. I'm a backer of Planet X3 Kickstarter. I have played Planet X3 briefly, and I have met the 8-bit guy last August at the local convention. This add-on, by the way,
How do you like my camera?
was made by Sunstorm Interactive, people who made most add-ons for almost all build engine games, if not all build engine games of the day. And they were really good at it. I like this add-on, it's really cool, but I do think it's like unnecessarily complicated.
Time to crash this party.
I also don't know, I know in the secret areas you can get like at least half of the weapons in the game, but I don't know where the secrets are. I do love the holiday themed items and weapons though. Oh, I see. Pineapple. We love you Dust Games by Year videos. There's more of those coming, I swear. Just have to edit them together. I like this add-on a lot, as I do like many other Sunstorm add-ons for build engine games, but I do think this first level is a bit too complicated. It's big. I do love the pickups with different shirts though. Yeah, it's a enemy that appears later. Whoa.
Time to crash this party.
Because in Duke Nukem you could change the palette of an enemy. They use that for hookers with different not hookers, strippers. They gave them different color bikinis. So here in this add-on, they use it to give the pickups different shirts. Let's see here. You ever have a chance to design levels? I answered it in the very beginning, but yeah, I didn't do that much of that. How do you feel about single player levels that can be played in Duke Match? I mean, that's how it's played in Doom, so that's fine.
You have such a
That's only because I know this was gonna happen. There's a shrinker, I think it's called the Voodoo Ring. Sauce is the replacement for steroids. It's pretty funny. Oops. Oh yeah, I don't have the mouse aiming. In all those old shooters, I do still actually prefer... Well, I use the mouse, as you can clearly tell. I sort of prefer to... come on. I sort of prefer to... to use the game's auto-aiming where available. There's a secret. Oh crap. Any advice for enthusiasts of Dustar with a small budget other than GOG? Honestly, I mean, pirate every game you can. That's fine with me. I'm not a big supporter of the law, so no budget, pirate games. When you get a budget, support. Start supporting things. I wouldn't be where I am if I wasn't for piracy. This means that I wouldn't be able to legally buy any games from back in the day. Well, I can do it. I just did that. You didn't pay for implement Egypt 32 multiplayer? I mean, Iron Maiden is not out yet, so we could see multiplayer in it. Two of the build implementations have multiplayer, so... Crap, there's a blue card. I feel like it should be somewhere here.
Time to crash this party.
Oh, here's a blue key card. Bird is crapping on me. Crap. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. There's oh god, this is so scary. Hey, I do love how Duke is in like shorts and stuff. Can you close your eyes for 5 seconds to celebrate 10 years? Yeah, sure. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Hey, you're supposed to go outside somehow to grab that key. That bothers me. so you can go there and collect the red key. I always found this level unnecessarily complicated. I know there's a secret room over there, like over here. No, of course I can't do it. I'm not a speedrunner, so I can't do a diagonal jump. Okay, so something's lower in some place when I do this. The boost is kicking in. Like you said, the network code, which is a shame. It's still possible. Duke Megaton Edition had multiplayer. Blood GDX has multiplayer. Anything is possible. Crap. Love the music. So who else likes build engine games? This is actually like a generic question. It's like everybody likes build engine games, right? I know some people don't like it, so if you don't like it, share it with me. I would actually like to hear your opinion of why don't you like build engine games. I know the physics are kind of weird, but come on, it can't be just that. Where do I get the card? Sunstorm? Sunstorm people? What am I missing? Secret? In here? No. Looks like it's to the left. Oh well. Let's see here. And I better find that key. This is like I didn't always find this first levels to be so unusually complicated. Now I can't even find the key. So we only is a proof of that. You know, I know I've been consuming substances, but wow. Like here, why couldn't it be here? Am I missing something? Like here, why couldn't the key be here? Why did I even go to this room? Well, obviously for this. But I need to go outside somehow, because that's where the key is. Here's the key. The Vista card is the key. I don't have any keys whatsoever. Oh. Gosh darn it. Oh no. Who came up with this? Whoa! Any Sunstorm people watching the chat? I hate you. Of course. And that's the thing, like... Suck it down. Which is a joke about John Romero, I guess. Whoa! Is there a pigeon? Hate those things in this game.
Life's a bitch, and then you die.
Classic Johnson John. So alright, so I got some weapons, I got the key. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. It only took me 50 million years. Yeah, not only can Silverman release the Build Engine successor, but he released quite a lot of stuff. Oops. Hey, secret.
Time to crash this party.
You're ruining my vacation. We've got
Damn, I hate disco.
Staying alive. Staying alive. Yeah. John St. John.
Hey, watch where you point that thing.
I'll take what's behind door number 1.
Whoa!
Fucking my son, asswipe.
I do like how they have the Hawaiian, I guess, beads and, not beads, whatever you call them. That's pretty funny. Just generally, I like the redesign of the weapons. Okay, so see, here's the red card. So, how you get it? You have to open one of those doors, which only opens for a limited time. That's a really kicking. That's a really kicking in the dick. I'm sorry. Like, I said I like Sunstorm a bunch. Ah, no. I don't know. You have to wait for the whole. Yeah, it's great. Which one is this? Yeah, that's too much. Is this where the card is? I don't care. I don't know. Hot sauce. I thought that's where the card was. Bananas. Yeah, that's great. Ugh. No, give him the card. Where is it? I don't know what that is. Ice for Ice Crusher. Ugh. So second opens the last one. This one opens the second one. Where is it? Alright, well, I guess we'll have to just wait for it to come around. Am I the only who thinks the Hawaiian stuff doesn't fit in the D.O.G game? Yes. D.O.G's on vacation. It's not supposed to fit the game. This is why I play Hexen. Yeah, because Hexen is... Whoa! Where is it? I just saw a keycard clip through the wall on the right, so I guess it's coming up. Maybe after the lotion. No, there it is. Okay, which one is to open the first one? I should have found out before. No. Okay, this one is to open the first one. Alright. Experience the frustration of the 90s with me. It feels like Rambo going on vacation to a furry convention. Yes, it does. Haven't you seen Rambo 3? Alright, wish me luck. Doom de doom de doom. Come on. 1, 2, 3. No! 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 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank fuck. Are you kidding me? I had to do all of that. All of that.
You have such a big
Oh.
nest.
We're gonna finish one level. Yeah, I know this is a terrible puzzle. Thank you. It is a terrible puzzle. Now there's like a... Oh no, there's an elevator. Right here. I should feel like I should save. Because I know what this is gonna be, because this is a 90s shooter. Just playing on through dust box. It is... I am playing through dust box. Whoa! I will do streaming of the real retro PC sometime in the future, but not just yet. Okay, bananas are med kit. Ooh! Suck it down. I do love the design of this guy. Woo! Oh, thank God. Thank God it lowered the health of the enemies, or maybe it's just me. Okay, so like this. Like, these enemies are super dangerous, but...
Watch where you point that thing.
Oh, fuck you. Is there... So I press the button. It opened this. Ha 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 ha! Gotcha! Let me take a screenshot. Ooh! Alright! We finished the level. Good night, Farmer 1. Good night. Yeah, let's see if I can die as quickly as I can. Whoa! Yeah, I'm not playing any more of this. It is a good expansion, but you know, it's dated in the sense that the design philosophies have of the day have changed. Like this, like it spawns a grenade, throw an enemy right there after I grab a gun. Come on. Who do you think that would be fair?
It's time to limbo.
It's time to limbo. I do love John St. John as Duke Nukem. Ooh.
Time to crash this party. It's time to limbo.
Yeah, this is a pretty complicated, pretty expensive, extensive add-on by Sunstorm. A lot of the resources have been altered, and that's what I appreciate about it. As I'm getting shot multiple times. Like a little floor here. So good. I still the different color paletted pig cops really entertain me. Ooh, there we go. Whoa! And he killed me. Well. That and Edge Doom. I remember Edge Doom because I remember that I played that GoldenEye 64 conversion. Alright, how much of the booze do I have left? Let's see here. Yeah, not a lot. Alright, take care, CFP. Thank you for stopping by. And this is it. This is the bottle. The bottle is empty. So I'd say maybe about half hour or anything. Talk to me, chat. What is the best way to get Lemmings 1 MS-DOS these days? It's kind of difficult to eBay or really expensive. I mean, apart from pirating it, those are your only options. So that's that. Do you think DOS will get the same kind of interest as Mega Drive, Genesis, or NES of modern indie titles? Don't think so, but it's getting some interest, so that's good. Are you drunk yet? A little bit. What, in your opinion, is the racist adult DOS software? I don't know, like Porntris, but the same people who eventually went on to make Fruity Loops, or FL Studio as it is now known, has sort of few frames of digitized porn, actual porn, not just pictures, for every level of their Tetris clone called Porntris. Is it the raciest? I don't know. Maybe, but I guess that's what it would be. So, I think I'm going to play something simple to wrap this up. I only have 2/3 of a glass left. And why not, do something like, I'd say, Tetris Classic. Russian game. As a Russian, I approve. And Tetris Classic, I think, has a very nice presentation. With a nice music and everything. I probably played it at some point already on streams, but I love the Ruslan and Ludmila backgrounds and everything else. What keyboard are you rocking? It's one with the HX something. I really don't know. I used to have a Razer and it died, sadly, which was not worth the amount of money I spent on it. So I got another something, and I really can't remember what it is. But it's a nice mechanic. It's a Cherry MX Red keyboard, so they all sound the same. Where do you get the DOS Explorer that you're using, Anatoly? It's called Northern Commander. Google it. Oops. Sorry. This is how I play Tetris, like every normal person who doesn't believe in their chances, I guess. C was used back in the days was the primary OS. Norton Commander is not an OS, it's a shell. And yes, I still to this day, even now on Windows, as I use Windows 10, I use a Norton Commander clone called Total Commander. It used to be called Windows Commander, but then Microsoft wasn't too happy about it, so that is what I use. Oops. I am drunk, am I? Yeah, I don't know why I'm screwing up so badly. Also in Tetris, I personally, because I'm only used to rotating counterclockwise, I only rotate counterclockwise, I don't... Even though this game particularly offers an option of rotating in two different ways, I only use one key to rotate, just because I'm so used to it. Ah, come on now. There pause? Okay. Let's see here. Do you use numpad on left hand? No, I don't. I use the arrow keys with the up rotating counterclockwise. What is the smallest device you play DOS games on? Like a smallest? Like physically smallest? I have a mini, what are they called? Like a mini PC that's meant to be a workstation. It's like this big. It's authentic Intel compatible thing, so I just use that to play DOS games. I'm video incoming on how to make it play DOS. It's really small. What was the earliest version of DOS you used? The earliest version of DOS I've used was the first version, 1.0, but the first version I have used, not out of interest, but actually practically, was 3. Was the 3 something? PC DOS 3 something, and then IBM PS2 Model 30 with a advanced basic editor that you could load. That was that. One of the finest Tetris versions yet. Absolutely. You know what's crazy? Last time I checked eBay, my was for sale for 2,000 euros. Yeah, that's why I don't collect anymore. I'm not willing to spend that much money. I know some people are, and good for them. I don't have that much money or anything, so oops. Wow. I really do. This is my favorite character just because of the presentation. I would love to play what's the VR Tetris. I really would like to play that that, but it's exclusive to the PlayStation, and therefore I cannot play it. I have an Oculus, and I would pay five times over to play it, but crap. Now, if you excuse me, this is getting... Oh, gosh. Ugh. Why did I do that? What happens when you play Tetris drunk? Oh god! Oh god! I'm so glad this is on record. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, how do you screw up a game of Tetris as this is it. Oh well. Well, hey, listen, at least you can see my real high score table. I do love this game. I love this music, especially in this presentation. I think it moved away from the Soviet presentation that the Tetris had attached to it. Oh wow, I scratched it. Oh well. The Tetris had for the longest time, so I feel the ancient Russian fairy tales are a much better setting for Tetris. Of course, now again, like I would say, I would love to take a Tetris Effect. The second it becomes non-exclusive, if it ever does, I'm buying it. I love that music too. I think a real DOS PC is cheaper. I think it's, but it's much more compatible. Let me tell you how much I spent that. How much money I spent on the on my last on that DOS machine that I've been mentioning. It was a like no money whatsoever, and such a powerful machine. It was a Wise Thin client, yes. With shipping, I paid $23. An authentic 8086 compatible machine that's tiny. And I think with shipping, whatever it was, $16 plus shipping, was worth it, I'd say. It's coming. I'm going to install Windows XP on it and stuff, but only I get some stuff going for it. Alright, have you played Niet 3? That's like a Tetris clone, right? I think I have, but not. Is there any Russian DOS games apart from Tetris that became well-known worldwide? No, not became world-known worldwide. Is Red Comrade Save the Galaxy any good? I like it, and I like that port. I don't know if it's gonna be any good if you're not Russian. I really don't know. how you interpret those characters in that story. Sort of vanilla DOS is expensive if you don't go after expensive hardware like graphics or sound. True. Shortline Railroad. Shortline is a really good game. It's actually add that to Hidden Gems list. A Russian game called Shortline is a really good game. Can't activate XP Online anymore. Who cares? Like I said before, pirate everything you can. If you can pay for it, pirate it. Yes, the thin client would be much more hassle-free and better end result than emulating DOS on any ARM device. That is absolutely true, except when you get to the more proprietary parts of any specific thin client. Are drivers available for DOS to emulate its sound or its video? That's the difference. In which case, in my case, the one that I bought for just a couple bucks, there weren't any, but you could install XP on it. It was fast enough to install XP on it, and XP of course provides a layer via NTVDM to emulate sound drivers. So yes, that part is cool. Otherwise, you're just stuck with the PC speaker. So yes, it's better in some ways, and it's not as good in some ways. But of course, it's very portable because it's just so small. So you have to look at any particular thin client. Do you recommend going on vacation to Norilsk? I've never been to Norilsk. Do you have a ZX Spectrum clone growing up, or new folks who had them? Yes, I did have a ZX Spectrum clone growing up, and I knew folks who had them. And as mentioned previously, I have a ZX Spectrum clone on the way, not ZX Spectrum clone, an actual official ZX Spectrum model on the way to me, if only the Greek government would let it through. What do you think of an ESS audio drive cards? I think they're fine, compatibility wise. Hello, Italy. I guess while I'm finishing the drink, I'm actually pretty drunk right now, which is very surprising. I guess probably because I don't drink champagne. Let me start Commander Blood. How about a Dandy? I had it. I personally had the Dandy Junior. So that. Oh, I see the Russians are waking up. Too bad. I've already finished my booze. Greetings from Argentina. Hello to Argentina. Wait. That's not what I wanted. Enjoy the French craziness. I hope the sound will work after I change the sound settings 50 million times. Cryo, the best and the worst company. The intro is sort of random, but the videos that I play during the intro are kind of random, but like some of them are random, but some of them aren't. It's really pretty crazy. This whole game is crazy, but I guess I'm going to show off a little bit of it before I'm going to depart, just because this is all I have left of my 10th anniversary bottle. Thank you all for stopping by. I'm glad I managed to attract so many people. Are you sure this isn't peak 90s here? It's pretty peak European 90s. This just loops forever. So let me actually get to the actual game. So, of course, I have the phone ringing. Let's go visit Bob Morlock, who is the original protagonist of the first game. It's all coming. I'm gonna make a review of this game. It all kind of makes sense, sort of. Genetically modified game, great from Nassau County, and congrats. Oh jeez. This is where I work. I work in Nassau County. It's Bob Morlock, protagonist of the first game. You were a clone of him. He just wants to see the beginning of the universe, basically. Was this before or after Bioforge? This was after Bioforge. Wait. Or was it? I'm not really sure anymore. So it's not important. Let's go to the planet. Bye bye, Bob Morlock. Honk as your onboard computer. It was like really terrible. It was really terrible in Prejudice, but throughout the game he sort of becomes more understanding. It's a stupid game. It's really, really silly, but in a way it's the only one of its kind. Thank you. One of my favorite jokes is if you click menu, it's not a menu, but it's a menu from like a local alien restaurant. It gives you the soups and whatnot. The humor is really something. I just want to show a couple of planets before I depart, because once I finish this, we're out. So we can go to Terra or Corpo. Let's go to Corpo. I guess we're already on Corpo. And you don't really go to the planets. That's from the original game, Captain Blood. You just sort of make a clone of yourself via an egg that's being laid by a dolphin. A space dolphin. And you make a clone of yourself and you go and talk to the inhabitants of a planet. Some of the music in this game is written by Jean-Michel Jarre, that you should know. This game is really silly. Oof. Honk. Your onboard computer is your companion. Either way, I would advise you to play this game. It's really silly. Really dumb, really silly. It's essentially an interactive novel. It's also very meta and really dumb. Oh god. This game is so weird. You know what? I'm tired. It's almost night. What I'm gonna do is run this. There's this PC speaker. Album. That wow. Champagne does work. That I found is quite interesting. So I'm gonna run that. What is it called? I posted a link to it recently on Twitter. I thought it was beep something, but obviously that's not it. System bips. Okay. That was easy. There's one that I particularly like. I think it's Bad Sector. Who cares, actually? This is the whole thing. I'm gonna finish my class. You only have a little bit of time to ask me, to talk to me about the stuff. Here's to 10 years of DOS nostalgia. Ask me about things. Oops. What's next in terms of podcast? That depends on who finds free time to volunteer for it. Whatever's next for terms of podcast depends on the guest. What's the Russian Dima saying for DOS? Kind of. How do you become a YouTuber? You just sort of figure out that you have some free time and you want to do some videos, and you figure out a topic, and that's it, really. What music do you like? I like sort of electronic music. I like dance music, but I'm just not opposed to any other different type of music. Classical music. It's fine. I just sort of like pop music in general as well. So I like all kinds of music. None of it is alien to me. I specifically like simplistic dance music, but it doesn't have to be that. The hell is time anyway? Agreed. Aphex Twin, I'm not a big Aphex Twin fan, but I appreciate what he did and what he does. Yeah, that's cool. How awesome is the PC speaker Zach McCracken theme? Yes, my favorite thing about Zach McCracken. I'm not the biggest fan of Zach McCracken, but the PC speaker music theme is pretty great. What's the best vodka? Grey Goose, French vodka. Don't tell anybody I said that, but French vodka is the best vodka. I love the podcast. You really need to do some more. I love doing podcasts. I hope more people volunteer to be guests on them, because I don't want to do them by myself. What's your opinion on flight sims? So, Gene Flight Simulator in particular. I'm not very good at flight sims. The only flight sim I ever really enjoyed the F-29 Retaliator, and it's not even a simulator of a real plane. It's a lot more arcadey. I think it's a cool genre. I'm just not professional enough to do it. I mean, it's cool it exists. I'm not gonna fight against it. I'm not smart enough to understand the flight sim genre, and the only one I enjoy is the one that's a bit more in the fiction territory. So that's that. Did you ever play Quake mods and Quake Rally? Yes, I have played a bunch of Quake mods. Which one's your favorite? I like Quake Rally. I like Airquake, and I like Quake Malice. Those are really good. What's needed to be a guest on the podcast then? You just need to contact me in one way or the other, or on Twitter or on email or something. Just affirming that you have a concise topic to talk about for about an hour and a half to 2 hours with me. That's all that's required to be a guest on Das Nostalgia podcast. Your conviction. F-22 is a classic. F-22 is a classic. Well, let's finish it up with a bang. I really like this presentation. Action Wake is particularly good. Your PC installing Das Games for Polybius was a Dell GX1, correct? Yes, it was a GX1. Would you consider playing Future Classic Collections game? I don't know what that is. Maybe? Well, one last thing before I go. Let's do this. I hope everyone can hear this. I'm gonna add up some volume. I need to propose some topics. You want to let people know what topics they want for the podcast. I am open to any suggestions for the topics for the podcast. Just get in touch with me. I mean, I could talk about racing games. There was a real pilot that came up to my podcast to talk about every single flight simulator he could remember for 3 hours. There's no boundaries. If you think you can talk about a specific topic for a couple of hours and it's gonna be entertaining, you can suggest yourself to be on my podcast. There is no limitations, please. Are you doing work on gods? LOL. I mean, eventually. Yeah, I guess. It's a fine game. Alright. Well, that was fun. I need to go to the bathroom. I drank a whole bottle of champagne. Thank you all for stopping by for Das Nostalgia's 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary. I can't believe I've been doing something for 10 years. It's pretty crazy to me. So thank you for all stopping by while I was being snowed in. Where I am. There's more to come. There's more Das Nostalgia videos coming immediately, as well as very soon. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you all for stopping by on this stream. Thank you all for watching my tweets and whatnot for all these years. Das Nostalgia would never be at this place if it wasn't for you. I'm glad to be that DOS guy and everything else. Yeah. So you keep playing DOS games, and you keep telling me about the DOS games you've been playing, and I think we'll all be fine. So yeah, remember DOS. Keep remembering DOS. DOS is alive in your hearts, in our hearts. That's all that's about. And again, thank you for stopping by. And I'll see you next time.